Welcome back, everybody, to Secure World 2017, Seattle, Washington. Chuck Harold, SecurityGuideTV.com. My next guests, Jan Stock, Chris Besh, BinaryDefense.com, and TrustedSec.com. Right?
Yes.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. Now, tell us what you guys do. You work together as two companies, but you work together. So tell us what you do.
Yes, we absolutely do. We have, our founder is Dave Kennedy. He's the founder of both Binary Defense and TrustedSec. So on the binary defense side, what we do is we run an intelligence SOC in Hudson, Ohio. It's 24/7, 365, eyes on glass. I kind of like to tell people, it's there's 5 components that make up an intelligence SOC. So the first will be your security monitoring, and that's your SIM tuning, SIM management, and incident response. Something that makes us a little different from our competitors is that we actually analyze the data of the SIM. We act as an extension of your team, so that when you receive the information, you are able as a customer to make an informed decision. The second part of our group is threat intelligence. So we actually offer this on the VIP protection side as well as the corporate brand side. Again, our team works 24/7, 365 in the TI group. What they do is go out, they scour the ClearNet, the DarkNet. They're looking at about 7,000 sites.
Wow.
They're infiltrating, they infiltrate hacking groups. They do. It's just an amazing group. Our third group, our primary product, is called Binary Vision. What it is, it's an endpoint detection and response solution. It does some very cool things. You can actually go back, you can recreate a breach. It's got deceptive technologies where we lure hackers via honeypots. Once we grab them, they're in the appropriate spot. We put them in containment mode, pull them off the network. And then our fourth component is going to be TrustedSec, and I'll let Chris talk a little bit about that.
Thanks, Jan. So TrustedSec's an information security consulting firm. We're headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio, but we have consultants spread all throughout the country. Our team's really broken into kind of 2 different divisions. So we have our technical division, which is more of your penetration testing, your red teaming, social engineering, application security, incident response, those type of services. And then on our advisory group, we're broken into, we have a GRC division, which does your program maturity assessments, security framework assessments. We have a PCI divisions, we have QSAs on staff. We also have a virtual CISO.
Interesting.
So,
okay,
exactly.
That's becoming very popular now.
Yeah. It's, there's obviously a lack of. There's a high demand for good.
There's a lack of
security.
over 1 million people trained to come into the security sec world, and we don't know where we're going to get them from.
Yeah, and the cost for good people. I mean, to find the talent, let alone pay for the talent, all the benefits that come associated with it. So. For us to come in and work on a part-time basis, we've helped a lot of companies.
Now, I like the solution. So. I look at you guys as a force multiplier, right? Mm-hmm. Because, first of all, most companies can't afford their own CISO. Second, there's not enough to be hired anyway. Mm-hmm. And even under the CISO, there's not enough personnel. Yeah. But if you can be outsourced, your company can be outsourced and have that data and that security knowledge there, you could handle 10 companies that wouldn't be able to hire 10 CISOs in the first place. I think that's the way it works, right?
100% correct, yep.
And it's so funny, back in the day, the GSOC, or we called it an EOC, was, my cameras at Fox, and I had an access control system. That's all the big data coming in there, right? Mm-hmm. We thought we were high-tech, when at Disney, we could open up all the doors from all our properties around the world in one place in Burbank. And now, that's nothing, right? Mm-hmm. What is the biggest challenge you're finding with these companies? Do they not understand the data they have? Do they not understand the data is valuable? Do they don't know how to manage it? I mean, these are smart people running these big companies. And, back in the day when they had desktop support, when computers first came out, they were all geniuses.
Right.
And now not so much internally.
Right. Well, one of the things that we see with a lot of our customers or prospects that we're talking to is, especially when you have a SIM in place, which is a security information event management tool, is it takes at least 10 to 20 people to manage this effectively.
Oh, really?
And
wow.
A lot of times what we're running into is organizations will have 1 to 2 people trying to manage and monitor.
Playing catch up,
and it's just impossible. You're spending, $80,000 to $100,000 for the tool, and then you have no one to manage it. So this is where a company like Binary Defense will come in. We can help you with the management of the tool. Again, even if you're working with something that differentiates us is if you're working with a third-party organization and they're just sending you logs upon upon logs. Again, you have to have an entire
Right.
team just to manage all of that information. So
So what do you think is, where do we fall down on this process internally as a company? Is it because there's not enough people to keep up with the data? Is it because they don't understand the data? Maybe it's a few things going on, but I'm seeing more and more big corporations coming to brilliant people like this over here, of course, right? And the question is, why didn't they develop their talent internally in the first place? But then I think that's not a good model nowadays because everybody's connected. Everybody's connected. Every company's connected to each other in some way. And so I think this is the better way to go. What's your thoughts on that?
well, my thought, my personal feeling is, number one, security is always changing, so it's going to be impossible to keep up with. And again,
Right.
what we see in organizations is, many people on the security staff are wearing multiple hats. So wearing multiple hats, you're spread so
Yeah.
thin. And another time, it's good to have an outside firm working with you to assist. It's nice to have an extension of your team and people who do the same thing every single day, keeping
That's
up
right.
on the newest updates to help you and your staff stay up to date. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. It's the techniques of the bad hackers are changing on a daily basis, and as you said, Jan, most companies security is important, but it's there's
Well, it's not their core business.
Correct.
If I make widgets, I don't need to worry about that other stuff. I need to worry about the best widget, and
correct.
that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So the teams are low. They're being pulled in a million different directions.
Right.
So on the Trusted Sec side, we don't sell products on our side. We just do strictly consulting services.
Okay.
And we go out and we live and breathe it. We work with a lot of the some of the Fortune 10, some of the Fortune 200, all the way down to startups. So we work with all different industries, and we see it all. And we have we have a good chunk. We have a group of consultants that all have different specialties, and we go out and kind of share what we see between the companies and between our employees and
Right.
to provide the best services. For
So
clients.
Jan, Chris just said something about all industries, but what about all sizes? So SecurityGuideTV.com, we're small. Hopefully we'll take over the world someday. But until then, I can't afford you, probably. Or am I wrong?
Well, no, it depends on the size of your organization. It's all going to depend. It depends what we're selling. If you're
Right.
looking at us and we're going to be managing a SIM for you, you
got to have a SIM, first of all.
If you have to have a SIM in place
Right.
or a logger, we offer
Yeah.
different solutions to different people. There's different ways you can go. That's why we try to get someone in the beginning of the process, which works out best, so we can talk them through. We want to be that advisor.
How can we get down to the small company? I'm worried that the local cupcake. Well, my niece makes sweets, right? She bakes custom cupcakes and custom all this kind of stuff. Small business, but she doesn't know anything about the computers, and she should. And I'm afraid somebody's going to get to her big client, the giant corporation, by going through her computer. Because let's say she's interfaced with them on payroll or something like that, right?
Right.
So how do we get down to those little people where I think the big attackers are going to say, you know what? Forget trying to hack IBM. It's too difficult. I'm going to go to
Well, listen, we I know Binary Defense for sure would love to talk to them. The way that we charge when we're looking at different organizations on what it depends on what we're going to be selling, but we're looking at the number of endpoints that
Yeah.
you might have in-house.
It's all about the endpoints, isn't it?
It's all about the endpoints. And then we also have a lot of other relationships
Yeah.
with local partners throughout the U.S. as well, who we can talk to, and there's a size and fit for everyone. It's just you need to start somewhere, talk with someone, let us guide you in the right direction.
So I got my first computer in 1984. There were 2 floppy drives, all right?
Right.
And then I went to the bank and I had to finance my first hard drive, and it cost $1,500.
Yep.
And it was 25, are you ready? Megabytes. It wouldn't even run Microsoft Word nowadays, right?
Correct.
But I didn't have to have 25 floppy disks, right?
Right.
So I've seen this progression. It's fascinating to me. I've been on the ground watching everybody progress, and I've just seen the shift to companies like you in the last 3 or 4 years. This is kind of a new thing, although hard to say new because new is yesterday, right? It's like boom. But are we seeing that this is a new trend, your type of companies, where we're just saying, you know what, we're done trying to figure this out. Here's a silo, here's a vertical market right here with your 2 companies, Binary Defense and TrustedSec.com, and you guys handle that. And maybe this other company over here, another booth, handles that other thing. is that we almost have to go that way. It's just too voluminous, right?
It's I think it makes sense. Of course, I'm going to say that
Yeah.
working for an MSSP, but it really comes down to choosing the right partner. What's going to work for you? What are the issues that you're having? Being able to really get to the root of the problem with the customer and solve what issues they might be having. It's all we like to work. We truly like to say we're an extension of your team.
Yeah.
We want to work with you. We want to make life easier for you, and we want to make sure that you're getting the value out of us being the extension to that team.
So for every interview, I sit here and I go, you know what? I feel better now. Or I go, oh, I'm not sure I feel so good anymore. I'm going to say I feel better, right? Because we got company that's like, hey, these guys are trying to stay on it. This is great. And I always ask this last question to both of you individually. What keeps you guys awake at night? What keeps you awake at night, Jan? What do you worry about in this business? And by the way, every time I ask 600 different people, it's 600 different things, interestingly.
Just keeping people secure, hoping that prospects and customers do the right thing. One of the biggest challenges, I think, as security as a whole that we face is it's a reactive industry.
Exactly. And maybe that's just the way it's going to be, but I have hope that it will be proactive instead. But those guys are so fast at it.
Yeah, we just want to get out in front of people,
Yeah.
make them aware of what's going on. It's not always a sale. It's just trying to learn.
Right.
To educate and then help them make
Chris,
the right
how about
decision.
you? What do you worry about in the biz? Or in life in general? I don't know. What do you worry about? One guy once at a show said, well, I don't worry about anything. I said, oh my God, there's a man of peace. That's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, same thing. It's just, it's funny that, before it was kind of security was looked at as more of just an expense item. Kind of
cost
that we
center,
talked
that's
about
right.
earlier.
That's
Exactly. But now we're starting to see it more as an investment. People understand the importance of, brand reputation, the cost of a breach. So again, it's just, we work with a passionate group of consultants that, we're on the phone with clients regularly, not charging them, just giving them advice, on the phone with prospects. If it leads to an engagement, great. If it doesn't lead to an engagement, we're just here to help.
That's a great way to be. That's fabulous.
Yeah, we just love to give back to them. You can see with our founder, Dave Kennedy, the tools that he's written with the social engineer toolkit and, co-authored the Metasploit, the user's guide for Metasploit. And he and our team are constantly developing open source tools to just share and make the industry.
Yeah, there is a trend to that people are saying, you know what? I can't sell it anymore. It's morally, we shouldn't. Let's just give it away. And that's,
we've never.
That's another great
sold.
trend too.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
So it's just
Jan Stock, Chris Bosch. Wait, Chris
Besh. Chris Besh. Yep, you had it first. No worries. You're not the first.
BinaryDefense.com and TrustedSec.com here at SecurityGuyTV.com at Security World 2017 in Seattle.
Correct.
I travel all around the place. I get mixed up around. Thanks for coming on our show. It was a very good conversation. And you did very well, Miss Jan. You were worried, but did she do great, Chris? She did.
She did awesome. You did, and Chuck, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.